Yeah, we're on maximum. I see some friendly names. Oh, I've got Mary Beth, Nancy. Hi there, Richard, Paulie. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Paula. Lovely to see you. Of course, I have a surprise guest here today. I don't think it'll be a huge surprise to some of you, but I'm just gonna wait till we're officially on time and introduce you. Look at this. Looks like I have ocean behind me. I don't. I have lake behind me. So, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, just give me, there we go. Oh, there's MB saying hi to Richard. It's nice for everyone to connect. Sorry, I felt like I should have gotten some of my Carmex from my lips, but we've been out touring. Hi, Martine, nice to see you here. It's good to have everybody here. Patty, lovely to see you, my friend. Glad you're feeling well. So, first and foremost, I would like to say hello. And some of you may have figured out where I am, but I don't know. We'll see if we can. Hey, Chloe. So first of all, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everybody. It is so cool to bring Patrick here to Madison, Wisconsin. It's an incredible city. So much fun.
We are in Madison, Wisconsin. I will put the location on after the fact. The capital city of Wisconsin. So I arrived late last night. Hi, Jeff. Nice to see you. Hi, Joanne. Hi, everyone. I'm going to stop saying hi to people because, of course, people watch replays of this. But just, there's, so Jolene and Terry, who we're going to catch up with tomorrow. So let's just quickly explain why I'm here. And it's not time to ask personal questions or anything, but I was meant, and of course, Janice just had your birthday yesterday. Janice, Jean de pays, c'est à ton tour de te laisser parler d'amour. Happy birthday, Janice. We were meant to be having a birthday meetup with Janice in Cape Cod. That was the plan, and it was planned quite a long time ago. Unfortunately, our beloved Diane here had a real bit of a health scare. Point being, she's 99% now, so please don't worry, and you don't all need to message her, but just she did have a health scare, and so we postponed the trip, and because I already had a flight, I redirected just for a few days, and I've never been to Wisconsin, so I flew up. So I flew yesterday from Calgary to Chicago and got in at about 10 o'clock at night into Green Bay. And we had talked about what to do here. And what I do in every place, every new state, is I always go to the state capital. And it turns out to be a spectacularly beautiful day. And I got to say, driving down, and I drove Diane's car. She's going to get a lot of tickets. But I drove Diane's car down through the middle of the state. We passed a lot of Trump flags on the way down, so we saluted them every time. But now that we're in Madison, I was driving in the north side of the city, and I was thinking to myself, because I have an image of this city. Hi, Han, nice to see you. I have an image of this city, and driving in it was nice, very organized, very, very clean. But I was like, okay, another Midwestern city. Now that we're discovering it, it is fantastic. So it is the second largest metropolitan area in the state of Wisconsin after Milwaukee. It's about just shy of 300,000 people here, but about 650 in the area. But it was one of these classic planned cities. So they become, you like the salute. So this city becomes the capital of this state, and the state becomes a state in, think of your flag. I promised Diana I wouldn't put it. 1848. 1848 becomes a state. So it had been part of the Michigan territory, and then it separates, becomes a Wisconsin territory. But this city is in a really unique setting, and it's warm. Now I wish I had shorts on, but it was cool this morning. This city is an isthmus city because lake behind me, Mendota on this side, and another M name on the other, and there's 4 lakes right around here. And so literally, hey, hi from Inverness. Look at this water. This is fresh water. So we're really pretty much in the middle of the state of Wisconsin, maybe a little bit south. Wisconsin, by the way, I've Googled several times the meaning. Now, these are Algonquin languages around here. And there's about 50,000 truly indigenous people still in the state. But once again, the people up where Diane lives, the Oneida, yep, they actually call themselves Turtle people, and we're on Turtle Island here, and we're in Great Lakes State. However, we're inland from Lake Michigan, and we're south of Lake Superior, of course. So these are still big lakes by most people's standards, but small lakes for this part of the world. And the city is this little strip of land. So when this became a territorial governance after Michigan became its own political identity, about an hour west of here was the original capital, but everyone was competing to become the upcoming state capital. So they literally laid this out, named it after the fourth president of the United States, Madison, James Madison, and they plotted it all out, named all the streets, built a grid in between the two lakes, and then said, why don't you buy this and make it the capital? And what a great idea. So they've got the University of Wisconsin starts here, and we're right by it now. So I'll turn this around in a second. But the University of Wisconsin starts in 1848. There's now 50,000 students. This is where one of my favorite publications in the world started, The Onion. Do you know theonion.com? Right? Hey, Shell. So fabulous place. So that is the whole start of here. And we're going to head over to State Street and walk up to the government building. I keep saying parliament because I'm, of course, from a parliamentary system. But they still call themselves members of the assembly. So that's the older term that we still use. But we're over here. But let's just, for a moment here, turn around, have a look at this gorgeous lake on this beautiful day. Right now in Celsius, it's about, it's got to be 20, right? About 70 degrees right now, would you say? Diane? I'd say
it feels
we're going to feel certainly in the sun. Tomorrow up in Green Bay is going to be much more like 28 Celsius or 81. So tomorrow, I'm going to hopefully catch up with our dear friends Terry and Jolene, who have visited us in Banff. And they're from Wisconsin here. But the word Wisconsin, by the way, sorry, I didn't finish that term, really means a good place to camp. Now, it's a total mispronunciation, but that seems to be the origin of it. So let's start walking along. Now, we went up to the info booth, and the gentlemen were really friendly. And I told them they might even come on. I told them I was going to do a YouTube live, but I also said it's my first time here. So I just want to come out and show you out one more time. Lots of public art. This is a super, super clean city. Here, Jolene saying yes. Really clean city. Look at this. I love this down here. No, on the ground. Oh, yeah. That lovely to see. So all the different directions. Oh, it's showing how, Antarctica is 9,181 miles away. Oh, the Panama Canal, 2,400 miles away. I'm hoping to be in Panama. Well, I know I'm going to be in Panama in November because I couldn't get a flight to Costa Rica. So they have pride in their alumni. So you see the pride flags. So, but the whole city, nothing can be higher than the Capitol building. That was the picture I put up. And a fascinating building. It's the third building. The first one they outgrew, the second one burnt down. And now it's the largest dome in terms of width and space that it takes up in the United States. So that was sort of interesting as well. It was a good tour, and it was nice. So Diane was telling me the last time she did a tour of the state capitol was, you said grade 8 or something?
8th grade.
8th grade.
Trip.
Yeah. So it's always so good to be a tourist in your own backyard, And so as we're driving down the road, as we went through different towns, lots of historical. We could probably spend just an idea right here. The progressive spirit that is at the heart of Wisconsin idea. Oh, another big, strong connection here. Sorry, I see. Your daughter's in Costa Rica right now. Cool, I will be there. Now, by the way, if you're still waffling on coming to Costa Rica, by the way, thank you, Anne, if I can induce 2 more people to come, Richard Pauly is coming to that. That's usually a draw for another 10 people. But yeah, we're just finalizing. I've actually already, yesterday, I sent a whole bunch of money paying for all the hotels. Anyway, enough about that. Now, this state is really, really, really into badgers, which are kind of like wolverines. They have badgers everywhere, but there's the Buckingham U badger. That's their school mascot. But I've got some cool things. Now, another famous name associated with the city, but it's not where we are here, is architect Frank Lloyd Wright. He is a Wisconian and designed a bunch of the buildings that are here. So that's synonymous with this. But down through here, you're getting that really university feel. And then it comes transitional. But I want to show you a cool thing right over here. This is where... See, stuff you can learn when you stop and look around. Adam Sletzner, I think, as lead engineer of NASA's Curiosity rover, he helped to expand an understanding and exploration of Mars. See, went to this university here. How cool is that? There's just so many cool things when you stop and have a look around. I do want to show you a really beautiful statue that's going to be up the way. So now we didn't know it was going to be this perfect weather fair, but But we were just saying, once we found all these fun food trucks, we went to the Irish pub for lunch, but I had a classic American burger, and it was delicious. And Diane had about 6 pints of Guinness. She just went crazy.
Nap time.
Oh, Paul Simon did a song. This needed nap time. Yeah. So this is Memorial Union Hall over here. So that does feel very university. And the Science Hall behind. I just didn't get that this university was that old as well. Like they literally, obviously, the establishment of the state, they established the university. Now, the state building, the tour was very good. The building has a lot of imported marble. Its imagery was very Eurocentric, in my opinion. Anything that depicted indigenous people was very much the kind of noble Indian sort of thing. So that's always, I think, a little disappointing. But there was a lot of history in there from that point of view as well. But quite a, obviously it's a large state. There's just shy of 6 million people here. This is the Historical Society over here on the right, and I take it to be the state library as well. The Supreme Court of the state of Wisconsin has 7 justices, 6 of whom are women, and they are elected, which I think is very odd, but they're elected for 10 terms, whereas the people serving in the state government, just 2 years. That means you're spending more of your life campaigning than anything else. Well, there's the Memorial Library straight across from us, but the Historical Society was the original building. And then they've got this huge Catholic cathedral up there. By the way, when I get right down the middle of the street, I hope we hold our reception, no problem. I tried to have a phone call while we were inside having lunch and it was just cutting out. But right now we seem to have a good solid stream, which always makes a man happy. but we will head up. But that is quite an impressive cathedral up there. So there's a lot to learn, but it's an interesting state. And I say some of the artwork, though, the one that's behind the legislative room, which is the East Wing, that was the first wing built of the modern building, which took them like 14 years to finish. And in today's money, they said it'd be $2 billion. So I'll be able to show that to you. I just want to turn around, first of all, to the back here and just show you where the parkland starts. See the green up in the distance? I mention this because, according at least to Wikipedia, of all top 100 major cities in the United States, this city has the most parkland and playgrounds for kids. Pretty cool claim. But imagine that in between, we started at the one lake, and then there's another lake right the other side, and look all the way down to the state capitol. Isn't that just a great view down there? And at the very top of the Capitol building is Lady Wisconsin, and she weighs 3 tons, and she's covered in gold. Now, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on the gold, but I'm not sure I want the 3 tons to fall on me. so life is all about choices. But as I say, this is the first time I've ever been here. And when I said that I was so keen to come and visit forward, when I was keen to come and see Diane and make sure she's healthy and good, Rise Free Org. Then I did say, well, let's take a drive down to the Capitol because, I always find these interesting. I'm down to, we were adding it up yesterday, I'm down to 9 states I haven't been to, and they're all in the Midwest. I've been to every other state. No, so the food thing, this food truck tradition, they come number 2 apparently to Portland, Oregon for bicycle trails, and they're a lot smaller than Portland. So that's pretty cool. And so I was quizzing Diane, which is a little bit mean, but it was worth it. Because on the back of this place on the right here was a flag that she didn't know, but it was the flag of Venezuela. And I said, I bet they have arepas. And there they are, arepas. It's a whole, that's their national food. And then you got some Jamaican food over there. And I really like, of course, my sister-in-law is Jamaican. So when we get together, we always have jerk chicken. And that always raises the classic story that Jamaicans, there's nothing they can't jerk. There's hibachi hut. And then we got empanadas. There's Venezuelan as well, which is fantastic. Taquitos. So it's funny because it's actually felt more, I would say, Asian, some of the food coming down here. Now we're seeing a lot of the Latin American stuff down here. Bulgogi, Korean taco. Who doesn't love that? And there's obviously that cool drinks. These cool drinks on the left, fresh juices, clearly they're good because there was a big lineup when we walked down. And there's Thailand in a truck. So we're gonna make our way right up. Sorry, Julian, I get it. She does. There's actually the statue on the top where she's saying forward, and there's a statue down at the front, which is a monument to the women of Wisconsin that is saying forward on. So yes, natural juice. I think that there's Peruvian food. Cuando comemos peruano, next November, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to run a trip back to Peru. I just feel so badly that I haven't been here. Look at the empanada house. That's where Germans meet South Americans. So I was just very taken. Now, to see this leafy street, this was exactly when we were driving in. We better stay off the bike paths. But when I was driving in with Diane, I said, I always imagine it being a really leafy city. And she just yelled at me, well, leave it alone. So we're just going to get across here. There we are. There's no lights. But we'll make our way up. Oops. So it is fun. Now, the lakes either side. Do yourself a treat, everyone, and call up a map on your computers of Madison, Wisconsin. You'll really see how it is this isthmus. And no building's allowed to be taller than the state capitol building. And it was interesting because a police officer came over and chatted with us. I just want to show you this. You know you're in a university town and you get the cool books. And there you go for you Scots on board. Thanks, Nat. Clans and Tartans, and then Illinois landscapes, and the Birch Bark House. So lots of indigeneity around here. Say it's you really do get that rural-urban mix. We're gonna kind of walk up over the middle. We're gonna watch out for bicycles, but there's I think I'm gonna have better reception if I can come up the middle here. So there seems to be also a pretty active, which is not surprising, arts culture here. I mean, a massive university town. Again, one of the most liberal political environments, certainly in the more northern states. And if anyone can remember, there's a really interesting Kimya Dawson song where she comes to Madison, where she had a dream. I think, yeah, Kimya Dawson's a folk singer from Seattle. I've always just had a huge amount of time for her. So we'll just have to go around this truck. But see down on the ground here? Lovely murals everywhere. Flock to State. So this is State Street, which most U.S. states have kind of a state street leading up to their capital. Now, Diane was quite taken with this building on the right here, and I understand why. So that's pretty neat over there. It is, it's sort of, well, it's old enough that there's some interesting architecture, but it's young enough that it was obviously a really planned grid. And in fact, you know, they named it after Madison, but then the first 38 streets were all the signatories to the American Constitution. The second one, of course, people always think it's 1776, but it isn't. It's 1787. And so it was all those signatories, and that was the idea of laying it out. The other painting that I keep meaning to mention, when we were in the Assembly House, that room, on the right-hand side of it was showing soldiers from Wisconsin. But remember, Wisconsin was one of those states that really stood firmly in opposition to enslavement, and so fought vigorously on the northern side in the Civil War. A pink flamingo. Now, I have seen real pink flamingos all over the world, but you see them up in Bolivia, way high up. It's such a spectacular thing to see. And then it was really fun. We picked the Irish pub, which was nice. And of course, we had the American food. But you could, I gather, eat up and down here. And so this police officer came over and chatted with us when we were waiting for the tour in the legislature, or in the State House. Came over and I said, oh, where would you go for lunch? Because I was asking about the Frank Lloyd Wright building. He said, oh, it's really a convention center, so it's not really a place to go for lunch. He said, go down to State Street. You know, and a big, fully dressed cop. And he said, because you go down there and people watch and everyone's unique and we don't judge anyone. I thought, what a nice perspective from someone who is enforcing the law, you know. It's and there we are, the Jewish Student Center. I think it's important to mention that because we just had Rosh Hashanah, of course, the Jewish New Year. My boy was at synagogue 2 days in a row. And also, it's one of the tough things in some of these university towns. It's been a fairly scary time to be Jewish. I would hope not here. I know there's been a lot of protests, Gaza sort of things. And I don't want to get political about it, but it's pretty sad if you're afraid to, you know, openly express your Judaism. You know, there's hemp 1848, but cannabis is not legal in Wisconsin, is it? No, it's every state around it is, but it's not legal. Oh, I like this. See this store here? Knuckleheads. Remember Tim Waltz the other night said sometimes I'm a knucklehead, but it's good that he can laugh at himself. So he's the neighboring state. Oh, I should have messaged my friends in Minnesota to say I was just over here. I really should have. Oh no, this is the building you really liked over here. There you go, yeah. So it sort of feels Germanic over there. So that's kind of neat. But this is just for, driving down, it felt, well, we actually went through, what was that town called? Rosendale. Gorgeous homes. Clearly it was a very wealthy town at some point of its history. Hi there. It was clearly a very wealthy town at some point. The big sort of Victorian style homes, which is great fun. Great to see you do live stream events. So I'm not sure who that is, but it's lovely to have you here. So let's keep going on up. So I have a couple of streets that are we see nice leafy boulevards. It does feel, and see nice rainbow flags as well, which I always like to see because that usually is indicative of people being welcome, right? Which is, now it says do not enter, but Diane here is a rebel. So she said we are gonna enter. So I hear the siren. That was the fire department. Well, it's mostly bricks, so I'm less worried. There's some lovely homes. Yeah, I would say compared to some of the other Midwestern communities that I've been around, this feels very affluent to me. And they do have a really vigorous, here's these. This is the Downtown Madison Information Office, which exactly what you'd expect in a place like this. Everyone's friendly and nice. And so I love them to get a little bit of promotion for their town. I don't know if they need that much promotion because everyone seems to want to be here. Nice mural up in the back here too. Isn't that lovely to see? Lots of murals around. This is what's so nice to see down. Hey, you're looking good, man. Thanks, Charlie. So now that's empty, unfortunately, the culture collectives. Maybe that's what's happening to modern culture. So, this is a nice place. Now there's a very stone Wisconsin design team. Oh, by the way, everyone, any one of you who in, let's say, roughly to pick a number in the last 18 years, any one of you's had a child or been around children in the last 18 years, you're probably familiar with the brand Oshkosh. So Oshkosh was actually a tribal leader. Of course, I always have to change my verbiage when I'm down here in the States. A tribal leader who was accused of murder, but it was actually apparently a fair murder and is off. But Oshkosh is about halfway between here and Green Bay. And that's the headquarters, like Finn used to wear Oshkosh clothing. So I think that's really cool. There was some other really cool clothing I saw. I think I must have passed it already. But lots of that kind of secondhand stuff you get in university towns. Now, I'm going to try and watch. I got to keep my eye on Diane because she's going to go into the wine spirits shop. Yeah, she just usually has a little Mickey with her most of the time. Our Diane has to watch her diet. She doesn't drink. So I try and make up for her. Look at this lovely street down there. Now, the colors are just coming out there. Now, let's head up to the State House. How are we doing for time? Great. Watch your step there. So we did a naughty. We parked for 2 hours, and it's maximum 2 hours. Then we went back and moved the car exactly a foot and a half and parked for another hour and a half. But apparently it's not the Packers. I will, over the next couple of days, maybe Sunday morning, we have to do a live stream around the Green Bay Packers Stadium. So, and Diane, correct me if I get anything wrong here. It is the last community-owned American football team in the NFL.
Yes.
That's correct. And they have a huge, huge following, of course. And last night, I mentioned it to the nice taxi driver who first took me to the wrong hotel. But then I mentioned the stadium. He said, "Oh, I'll detour." And so he drove me around it. That's okay, Diane. I'm gonna put it back. That's okay, Diane. I'm gonna put it back on to Facebook. Everyone, okay? Onto Facebook, because this is cut out 4 times in a row now, okay? Now, I'll go to Facebook, everyone, okay? Sorry, but it'll be the To Me Travel Facebook.